Hello. Can you guys say hi?
Hi, welcome back to the second episode.
Yes, you're right. This is our second episode. We're getting a little better. I'm a little more prepared. I already have the girls mostly eating, and I started some of my meal. So tonight I'm making a one-pot Mexican quinoa that I literally Googled because I had a couple ingredients. Jason had taken organic turkey out of the fridge. I already threw that in the garbage, but you guessed it, we get it from Costco. And I didn't want to do pasta again because we did ramen last night. So I was kind of looking in the pantry because I always keep certain staples. Didn't really feel like doing brown rice. So I said, you know what? I haven't cooked quinoa in a long time. So I literally just Googled like Mexican quinoa, and I put one pot in there because I hate cooking quinoa and rice separately. Because it's just a lot of moving parts and it always takes too long and I never cook it right. And this recipe came out and it was perfect, totally compliant for what I follow. The recipe itself was actually vegetarian. So it uses veggie broth and no meat. But because we had the turkey out, I'm just adding that in. And then I had chicken stock already open, so I'm going to be using that. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to grab Stevie's dinner and I'll be right back. Okay, there you go. Mix it up, okay? Okay, so I already cooked. I'm going to put you guys up here. So I already cooked the turkey. So I'm going to pour that out into a bowl, and then I'm going to finish the rest of the recipe. So you could probably do it all together, but then I feel like a lot of times it overcooks. Okay, so then just don't eat it right now, Stevie, and give it a minute, and then eat it when it's cooled down. I forget what I was saying. So yeah, anyways, I think it overcooks it. So I'm putting that aside. I'm also adding a few things that the recipe didn't call for because, again, I have them on hand, and I just didn't feel like the recipe, even though it was vegetarian, meaning it didn't have meat in it, it didn't have enough veggies in there for my liking. So I'm adding a bell pepper, which I had, and then I also had a red onion that I'm gonna wanted to use up. So adding, we're making one pot Mexican quinoa, which I love one pots when I'm cooking grains like quinoa and brown rice because it's just so much easier, less dishes, and I just don't like cooking my grains separately because I'm lazy. So yeah, so I'm just chopping up. Hopefully you can hear me over the kids. If not, sorry, you can just look at my face. So I'm chopping up some bell peppers and red onion. I just cooked up some organic ground turkey that we get from Costco. And then I will add these into the pot. So I'm guessing most of you guys know a little bit your way around the kitchen. And just so we're clear, I'm totally amateur. But I do know, I'm going to put my hair back, that you generally are going to start with your garlic, your peppers, and your onions. I personally like to start with my peppers and onions because otherwise I tend to, and I don't know if it's just because I don't know what I'm doing, overcook the garlic and it burns. So I found for me, if I do the peppers and onions first, or if you're just using one or the other, that's fine too. Get those going just to get a little bit more kind of juice in the pan, if you will, so it's not overly hot. I literally will just saute those in there for, you know, maybe a minute or two. I'm just on medium heat here. And then I'll add the garlic in. Another thing I buy from Costco is their garlic. So I know it looks like a lot, and that's why I used to not buy it. I used to chop garlic fresh, but that was like pre-kids, and I just said, this is crazy when I could buy this pre-minced. And it's like, you could get the smaller ones at the grocery store, but it's literally the same price. for one of those at a regular grocery store as it is for one of these at Costco. And honestly, I just use more garlic now, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I just add a bunch in there. So I am going to go ahead and add that now. So the peppers and onions have been in there for a minute, maybe 2. So I'm going to add the garlic. Literally just going to stick my spoon in there and add a bunch. Yes, honey.
Maybe done.
Do you want more?
No.
Okay. Yes, but you need to sit at the seat until Stevie's done with her dinner, please. Okay, so...
I used to love those, remember? The chicken.
Yep, that's ground turkey. Oh, say hi to Michaela.
Hi, Michaela.
Can you say hi to Michaela? Just from over there is fine. You don't have to get down. No, I'll bring it. Sit in your seat. Sit down. Eat your dinner. And you need to sit down too.
Hi.
Okay, time to eat your dinner now, please.
I'm hot. Too much hot.
It's fine now.
Subscribers we have.
Toddlers are so fun. Okay, don't eat it, but then it's bedtime and no treats or popcorn or anything after. So, Kennedy, sit in your chair, please. Okay, so peppers and onions are in there. I glanced at this recipe and I'm going on memory. So, I'm going to add my peppers and onions are soft. You don't need to cook them like too long because you're going to cook the whole thing for 20 minutes. So it will continue to cook. So I'm going to add the seasoning in first. I said this last night. Nope. So I like to add the seasonings in before the liquid because then I feel like if I don't, then I'm just seasoning the liquid and I feel like it doesn't really get into it. So I'm using some onion powder. It called for chili powder. I don't have chili powder, so I'm using a little bit of cayenne pepper. I bought this a while ago, so I use this anytime I'm cooking Mexican. It's not super spicy, but I just do like a tiny bit of that chipotle. Cumin, if you like to cook Mexican, then cumin is the staple. So another thing we get from Costco is the big thing of cumin. I'm not measuring, as you can see. I think the recipe called for like a tablespoon each or something like that. Garlic powder, also get this from Costco. And that's it. So I will stir that all together now. And then kind of just put those together. And then I'm going to add pretty much the rest of the ingredients. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I just wanted to make sure that it added everything. So now I'm going to add a can of drained black beans. A can of, it called for like fire roasted diced tomatoes. This is just what I had. So I'm going to add those in there. I also have just plain diced tomatoes from Costco on hand, but I figured I would just use those to have added flavor. And then I'm going to add 1 cup of quinoa. By the way, hi Gabriella. Sorry, I saw that comment, but I was in the middle of saying something. So 1 cup of quinoa. I'm going to put my phone down onto what I'm cooking here in just a minute. And then it called for 1 cup of, like I said, vegetable broth, but I had chicken stock already opened. So 1 cup of that. And then I'm going to mix it all together. And then it says to cover it and cook until the quinoa is cooked, about 20 minutes. This feels like maybe not quite a bit enough liquid for me. So probably because those types of tomatoes that I just used didn't have as much liquid as diced tomatoes would. So I'm going to add just a splash more chicken stock, but not too much because if you have to, you can always add more. But obviously, if you add it, you can never take it out. So I'm just going to do a tiny bit and I'll just keep on my eye on it. And if the liquid starts coming out before the quinoa is fully cooked, then I can just add more liquid. And then what I'm going to do after, once it's fully cooked, I'll add the ground turkey back in there. And then because it didn't have as many vegetables as I wanted. One of my tricks of the trade for that is to just add fresh spinach. So I'll add fresh spinach at the end, and the heat from the cooking of it or whatever will wilt the spinach and it'll be great. I always keep pico de gallo on hand. Pico de gallo salsa is a good one to keep on hand because it doesn't have vinegar in it. And I try to limit as much vinegar. Also, I keep freeze-dried cilantro on hand because it goes bad quickly. And then I'll add some avocado on top as well. And then a great substitute if you are like me and you love sour cream or you like a nice creamy topping on your dishes, then I will add a dollop of just plain hummus, and that way you're not using any dairy, but you get, hi Kristen, you get that nice creaminess from the hummus. So I am gonna stop there. Because I really have nothing else to do. That's what I love about one pot dishes. So I will cover that, cook it for about 20 minutes. Let me set my timer. And then while that's cooking, A, I'm going to get my 3-year-old to eat her dinner. And then B, I'm going to do some cleaning up in the kitchen. Because it's always nice when you're done cooking to not have a bunch of dishes to do. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great night. I'll post a picture at the end of how it turned out.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys want to say bye?
Bye.
Okay, Stevie, say, I'm gonna eat my dinner.
We're gonna eat my dinner.
Okay, see you later.
See you later.